And with you, like your individuality is so layered, right? From thinking you were going to spend a life maybe touring, doing military work, like ready to hop on a plane to Afghanistan, to cancer, to childbirth. Um, how have those experiences that for most people, like just any one of those would rock their world, how have those affected your work? How have those experiences maybe changed or altered the way that you operate as a storyteller?
Yeah, they've really been gifts. And like I wouldn't recommend anybody get cancer on purpose, but like
So just hang out in front of a microwave every day for 2 to 3 minutes.
right? But they've been really great gifts because there's a book that I read that's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And it's
I've
a
heard of
very
it.
easy read. I don't know that I'm a huge fan of the author, but I do think that the principle in his book is fairly true,
Hmm.
is that when you go through things that are kind of earth shaking or foundation, rocking, it's one of those, it gives you a lot of perspective.
Mm,
And it makes you realize that there's a lot in the world that you can freak out about. Like it's not invalid to freak out about, I don't know, a test next week. But when you've got a test next week and you're stressing out about that versus in Ukraine right now, children are being separated from their parents. People are
yeah,
have been bombed for over a year now.
yeah.
There are war crimes being committed on the daily. Like suddenly my test doesn't feel quite so life defining,
Mm,
and so it's kind of the same thing. And there were some lessons that I had been told prior to that in my life that going through actual like full body full life experience,
yeah.
you know um trials
Hmm.
really firmed up for me. Like I've been a runner for, this keeps coming up lately, I don't know why. I've been a runner for like roughly 20 years.
Okay, word.
And whenever you work out, people are always like, you've got good days and you've got bad days and you got to keep getting up and you got to keep working through it. And I
Uh,
believe in that. And sometimes it's just like, man, I suck today. I
yeah.
really suck today. But when I got diagnosed with cancer, and I had actually just run a half marathon for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, ironically enough.
Wow.
Yeah, and then was diagnosed with lymphoma. But I was immediately told to stop running because the tumor was around my heart. And
Mm,
once I was cleared to start working out again, it was after a few weeks. I went into the little tiny fitness center of my apartment complex, and
hmm.
I hit the treadmill, and 30 seconds in, 30 seconds in of jogging on a treadmill, I had to hit the emergency stop button and like drop to my knees and couldn't breathe. I
Jeez.
don't know how much of this was like any sort of damage that was done from my heart versus chemotherapy versus like what, I don't know what it
Yeah.
was. All I know is it was, a hard stop. And so over the course of weeks, I was like, okay, like I've got cancer. I'm going through chemotherapy. Like that sucks, but let's keep going, right? We're
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
get what we can get while we're going through this. And over the course of weeks, I built myself up, built myself up, built myself up. I was doing intervals and I could run for like 3 minutes at a time
Hmm.
without stopping. And I would take a break. And I went in, I was like, okay, today I'm gonna try and do 5 minutes straight and not stop.
Hmm.
And I had to hit the emergency button at 30 seconds again. I was
Mm,
so dejected. Um, just because all that was going on, all of my circumstances, and how hard I had worked to get to the half marathon, how hard I had worked to get to 3 minutes,
yeah.
to like 3 cycles of 3 minutes. And then it felt like it was all gone. And I think it was 2 weeks before I went back into the fitness center.
Hmm.
And when I went back in though, I ran 20 minutes without stopping. And I hadn't done that since
Oh, wow.
pre-treatment. And so that was the first time for me that it was really like, oh no, I can have a really bad day. And
Yeah.
that doesn't mean I'm not going to kick ass 2 weeks from now.
Oh,
So I,
such a valuable lesson. Oh my goodness.
yeah. And like people can tell you that over and over and over again, but it didn't quite land the same way until I had something that stark and that
Yeah.
defining really, really land it home for me.
Yeah. And if any and if any industry, like, people exist in and they get constantly kicked down, constantly told no.
Yes.
It's like you're constant
Over and over.
like you're constantly on the treadmill and passing out after 30 seconds, so to speak, like,
Yeah.
but hearing your story, like you just talking about just that, struggle with running again, I'm like, it makes so much, like, who you are today makes so much sense to me now, because I'm like,
Yeah.
you are relentless. You
For
you
better or worse, people look out.
Hey guys, thank you for checking out The Actor's Instrument on YouTube. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a beat. You can follow us at Actors Instrument Podcast on all social media platforms. Till next time, y'all. Peace.